Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining me in the world. It is 8 o'clock in the morning on Pacific time on the west coast of Canada here. Just checking in, doing a bit of a 30-minute. Actually, I'm going to set a timer because I do have to go after 30 minutes, but a 30-minute Q&A. Ask me anything. We can talk about any question that you have in regards to business, marketing, productivity, personal development, anything you can think of. Anything that I can help you with this morning will be fantastic. And we've already got Future Scope in the house, so we'll dive right in, seeing as time is short today. And I'm going to see if I can position this. It's still super dark outside. The sun is sort of like coming up a little bit, but I've got these super hot lights that I can adjust. So I might be a little bit toasty in the office, but regardless, Future Scope says, how do I add this? Let me see if I can. Oh, we might have to do this another way. I was testing out all these new fancy tools about like pushing buttons and having questions pop up and banners and things like that. But as usual, technology has left us a little disappointed. So next time, Future Scope asks, content is king, we'll assume, and video content is God. What advice could you give to someone moving over into motion graphics from Photoshop? So tons, right? The big one here is figuring out like what you want to do in regards to motion graphics. Hi, Sacha Danand. Oh, I hope I pronounced that right. Probably terribly, but good to see you. The big question really is figuring out like who's your market going to be and what's the reason that you want to move over to motion graphics anyway. I think there's still plenty of room for some pretty amazing stuff with Photoshop. Like you could do a screen share and document some of the things you do, and that's fantastic. I think there's a ton of opportunity for motion graphics though. Like it's huge. Basically when it comes to especially using that on short form vertical videos and then integrating it into longer videos as well, there's a ton of opportunities. So if you have anything more specific, I think let me know. But otherwise, yeah, dive in head first. Fun fact, I've actually just started learning DaVinci Resolve. Long time Final Cut user, used Premiere and After Effects for years, looking into Resolve now. So thoughts on that one? Maple King. Oh, thank you for the kind words. Glad you appreciate, love this stuff. That's awesome. Navi, hey, do you have content on B2B marketing? Just got a digital marketing job in B2B and have no idea what I'm doing. I'm only used to B2C. Okay, awesome, Navi. So for those of you not familiar, B2B is business to business, B2C, business to consumer. So in B2B business, we're selling to other businesses. Now, here's the thing with B2B versus B2C is there similarities. There's more similarities than there are differences. Like it's always going to come down to identifying your target market, to figuring out their wants and needs and dreams and desires, identifying them. The biggest difference is probably going to be the sales conversion tool. Like typically with B2B, because of the price point, you're going to need some kind of conversion tool, like a phone call, an appointment that gets booked through there, some kind of a funnel that guides them there, as well as content is going to be even more important to establish authority and leadership and expertise. And then making sure that you're identifying the right platforms for the market that you're trying to go after. So that's the big ones. But otherwise, I think you'll find the similarities there. There's a lot. Like once you understand marketing, you can apply it B2B, you can apply it B2C, you can do whatever you want with it. Kevin, good morning from Lakeland, Florida. Hey, so it's got to be like 9, 10, 11 a.m. Morning, Kevin. Shahib, you from Canada? Yes. Yes, Canada is home. Mostly do a fair amount of traveling still, and Hawaii is kind of home away from home. Looking at Spain right now for a bit of an extended trip, but yes, Canada, West Coast. HRV Gaming, starting an internet community is a good idea. I'll have to be more specific. That's like, is starting a business a good idea? So yeah, starting a community is almost always a good idea if you can do it in a unique and differentiated way, and you're providing some kind of additional value that they would be unable to get through other communities out there. That's the big one, right? Sasha Danand. I'm going to get that right. Sasha Danand. Pretty sure I got that one. I have a question. Best free email marketing platform to send unlimited email for free. Wrong question. Like the question that you want to ask is which email platform is going to be best for your needs. Now, if you're just getting started with like no budget and you're just getting started, like basically anything is going to work just fine. Like just choose whatever you want. But email marketing should provide a return on investment, meaning you should be able to put in $1 and get out 2, 10, 20, 100, whatever it is. So the better question is which email marketing platform is going to be best for your needs? This is I'm going to wonder if this link will work. We'll see. I like that one. Make sure that one works okay as I type in links here. Yeah, that one worked. So that's my top pick. It's not free. It's one of my absolute favorites. I've used all of them. But yeah, you want to find the one that's going to be best suited for you. And price is obviously a factor, but so is tracking and deliverability and so on. So Maple King, how would you find a healthy balance with traditional 34-hour job and a side hustle? Yeah, great question. We'll go into some productivity stuff here right away. I think balance is a misnomer. It's a tricky word, right? Because in business and in life, balance is probably the goal that you want to strive for, but there's going to be periods where balance is just totally unrealistic. Like it just ain't happening. So I think in the early stages, if you're going to have like a 34-hour, 30 to 40 hour a week job, you do your side hustle after evenings, weekends, early mornings, and you find the times, the pockets that you can put on your calendar where you're going to be undisturbed and uninterrupted. That might mean sacrificing sleep for a little bit. It sounds awful when you first get started, and then it becomes relatively simple. You can pay this back later. Like you don't want to grind 80 hours a week forever, 100 hours a week. That's ridiculous. Sacrifice your health, your relationships and that. But short term, that's kind of the answer. It's working really, really hard for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months in order to get traction on your main thing until it starts providing more revenue that you can start to transition out of your full-time occupation. There is no shortcut. Man, I wish there was, but that's the secret. Future scope, moving into motion design, Studio Carnival 2023 is going to be huge because of lockdown in my country. Just started putting my out content and carnival bands already loving my content. Cool. Yeah, I think that's interesting. What country are you in? Yeah, it's interesting to watch like what's happening with lockdowns and regulations and how the Rona has destroyed some industries and like exploded others in good ways. So for everything, there is a reaction and an equal and opposite reaction. How can we get more digital marketing in our same niche we working on? You're gonna have to explain that one a little bit more. Clarify that one for me. What you mean? Reem, hello from Egypt. Adriana, hi. Reem says, any advice for someone who's starting up as media buying? I worked on Facebook and Instagram and now learning Google ads and I'm really bad at it. Any advice? Yeah. So good for you for admitting. I mean, like we all start somewhere, right? Like when I first ran my first Google ads, I don't even know if many of them worked. Probably nobody clicked. And then I was getting like $20 clicks. And this is back in the day, but you can get better, right? Like it's totally doable. I do have some advice for Google ads. The big one, I don't think I have the book behind me. I think it's over there. Look up like 80/20 sales and marketing by Perry Marshall. He's going to talk about like Google ad campaign structure. The book's relatively old in the world of marketing. So we're talking 10 plus years, maybe there's a new edition, but it's going to show you how to structure your campaigns. Because the thing with Google ads, like all advertising, is that it's going to come down to identifying the top 20% that are getting you 80% of your results and then cutting the rest. So really diving into the targeting, the keywords that you're using negative keywords. There's some decent searches on that, but like if I'm ever doing a test and I want to find out if somebody actually knows what they're doing, I'll look into their Google Ads account and I'll look for negative keywords. And if I see that they're not using them, then it's a bit of a red flag that I was like, all right, cool. There's a lot more potential here. So look into that one. Sasha Danet. I'm going to call you Ja. Ja is perfect because we got a name in there too. CPA marketing versus affiliate marketing. There is no right answer. Again, cost per acquisition essentially versus affiliate. It depends on, like, my preference is almost always to find clients that I can serve first. So affiliate marketing is fantastic later, but you need a really good offer. You need good follow-up. You need that's marketing. So when you're doing affiliate marketing, you're competing against, I like to think that we're all in this together, but like you're competing against people like me, let's say. So it's like full-time, dedicated, diehard marketers, people that have optimized their funnels and they're tracking everything. It's like, that is a very competitive niche to want to play around in. Totally go for it. Like it's amazing. There's huge opportunity and potential here, but it's like you're picking the hardest thing to go after. Rare contents. Could you please send me your email ID? Some of the contact details are available on the website. Otherwise, the best way to reach me, I don't often check email. I've got people that go through that, but I'm terrible at answering. So here on YouTube, it's the best way to reach me. Adriana in Arizona. Fantastic. Fantastic. Phoenix, Mesa, Scottsdale, like the 3 places I know. Yasmin Allah, I follow you from Egypt. I learned from you much info. Love you so much. Thank you, Yasmin. I used to live in Egypt, believe it or not. Lived in Cairo for a good couple years, and then spent a lot of time in Hurghada and El Gouna and Luxor, traveling all around that area. Alexandria for a bit. So very cool. Reem, what else do I need to learn, like skills and stuff with ads? Okay, so believe it or not, I actually came into this live with the intention of talking about like skills and skill acquisition and how that's the missing link to most of the things that you want to accomplish. In fact, what kind of prompted me to hop on here is I was listening to an interesting interview this morning with Cal Newport, and was talking about how really like what we're after is skills. That unlocks everything that you want to do is skills. Like if your ads aren't working, well then you're lacking some kind of skill in making better ads. If you're not making the money that you want, it's because you don't have a high enough value skill, or you don't have the skill of putting it in front of enough people, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when it comes to marketing, how you get better at ads is by getting better at marketing, because ads are really just a facet of marketing. So this means we need to understand the basics, right? Like targeting, positioning, segmentation, differentiation, high level stuff. We need to understand how to do some basic market research. We need to understand some basics of copywriting. We need to understand which advertising platform we're going to want to use, because they're all different. Like running Facebook ads versus Instagram ads versus TikTok ads versus YouTube ads, they're going to follow a similar pattern of like we lead with a hook and then we provide value and we show some credibility, and like there's going to be a system that we follow and is relatively replicable, but the nuances and the tactics on each platform are significantly different. So you've got to decide that as well. So the horrifying, terrifying, overwhelming answer is there's a lot to learn, but it's bit by bit, right? That's it. It's just like stacking little skills on top of little skills, adding to them as you go. Patrick, how to best keep up to date on the marketing industry? So yeah, great question. Also, this is totally a self-serving answer. And I'm clearly biased, but I've got a newsletter. If you go to adamerhart.com/newsletter, you can sign up for that. I'll even put the link in. Actually, if someone wants to type these, that'd be amazing. Should have had someone on help. adamerhart.com/newsletter. If you go there, even just go to adamerhart.com, you'll find it. I try to do my best to keep you informed with what's going on in the industry, what the changes are, specifically to different platforms and strategies and algorithm shifts and things like that. Otherwise, there's a lot of decent websites out there. Like if you type in marketing information, marketing strategies, marketing reports, there's all kinds of different things. Like more niche specific, like are you more focused on B2B or B2C or the creator market or whatever it is, and they're going to be able to go into more depth there. Also, thank you very much for the kind words, Patrick. Appreciate it. Maple King, thanks for your feedback. Look forward to more of your videos. Awesome. Yeah, my pleasure, my friend. And more coming soon. Architectural Sheet Metal 101. That's a great name, by the way. You want to talk about niching down and being very specific about what you do. There's that one. Good morning, Adam. Been consuming your content a lot lately. Awesome. Thank you. Great to have you along. Tamzid, love from Bangladesh. I get so many marketing things from your content. If you can please upload some South Asian marketing content. Yeah, that's very specific as well. Let me know what you're looking for in regards to South Asian marketing content. Like, are you looking for market reports or targeting that area? There's a lot of very cool things coming out of like South Asian marketing areas in regards to new brands and new businesses and new opportunities. There's a large community of quote unquote digital nomads that live in that area for weather and quality of life and so on. HRV Gaming. If we starting to market or advertise a business, what'll be our common mistakes we do mostly, and how can we correct it? Oh, that's a good one. So I got a bunch of videos on that, but if I had to pick one, it would be failing to be empathetic and realistic about your market and about how you can help them. So empathetic being, am I actually putting myself in my customer's shoes and seeing things from their perspective? Like a lot of the times, if I do an audit or I look through a brand or look over their ads or whatever it is, and I look at the ad and it's just like this, without being mean, it's like, it's a very selfish ad. It's all about me. It's like, here's why I'm the best and come get all my stuff. And I'm so good and do all this. Like, that's terrible. Nobody wants to hear that and nobody's going to buy it. It has to always be about the customer and their problems. And if they're not buying, it's not because they're dumb or uninformed. It's because you're doing a bad job, for lack of a better term, at communicating why they should even care. So that's big mistake number one. The second mistake is not being realistic about, is your offer, business, whatever it is, actually better? Is it actually unique or different? What am I doing to stand out above the competition? And then being ruthless with yourself. It's like when I take a look, this is why I use consultants and coaches and mentors, and I'll have them look at my stuff as well. Because it's hard for me to be objective. Like when I'm looking at something and I'll say, write a sales page. And I'm like, that was the greatest sales page ever. And then they'll look at it and they'll be like, Adam, you missed like this whole thing. Because you can't see your own stuff very well. It helps to get someone else looking at it because they're not gonna have the thought that you had when you wrote it. They're not going to have the same biases. So that's the big one. Reem, thank you so much. I will look it up. And honestly, I didn't try negative keywords because I'm learning from YouTube and didn't really know what to look for. So thank you. Yeah, no sweat. So again, when it comes to that kind of thing, like when it comes to learning these skills, YouTube's amazing. Like it's absolutely incredible. In fact, like as I mentioned earlier, I'm starting to learn DaVinci Resolve for like video editing. The first place I went is YouTube, and I found a bunch of very cool YouTubers that are showing me all kinds of neat things that I had no idea about and learning how to figure things out. I've bought a couple courses now as well, but it was going to YouTube first and learning the basics and figuring out like you don't know what you don't know. So that helps. Althaf, hi, John. I don't know who John is, but we'll say hi to John. And then hello from India. Hello. Omkar, hey Adam, I want to start as a freelancer. I'm thinking about giving lead funnels services for coaches. What is your advice? Should I start by lead funnel or sales funnel? Great question. So here's the thing. People don't want leads, they want sales. Now leads are a means to an end, but it's the same reason that I'm not against lead funnels by any means. Like a marketing funnel that generates leads for someone for those not up on the marketing jargon. But like what they really want is sales, is customers, is clients. So the better you're going to be able to be the one to deliver that to them, the better your business is going to do, the more referrals you'll get, the more in demand your services are going to be. Where you start concentrating on things like I can get you more likes or comments or shares or traffic or engagement or things like that, all of these vanity metrics that don't actually necessarily equate to growing the business, that's where people get into trouble. In fact, that's my biggest pet peeve, I think, with marketing in general, is that I think we're getting better, and I'm doing my best to push this objective that I have of like showing people that marketing should actually result in sales rather than just making us all feel good and look good with like, there's a million views on this, but like 0 sales and nobody was helped. That's useless. So lead funnels are fine. Sales funnels are better. Do what the clients want. That's the big kicker. So it's like, which niche are you going to go into, and then build things out that way. Also, when you're building these lead funnels and sales funnels, are you going to copy and paste? Are you going to create them from the ground up? Is there going to be custom strategy? Are you doing mostly design? Like there's a lot of things that go into it that could differentiate you from the competition. Okay. David Casalaspro, what tips to promote insurance agency? Thanks. Okay, awesome. So it's funny. That's a great question because I literally just talked about how we probably just want to do like sales. Here's an exception. We probably want to do straight up lead gen. What I would do, David, and what I've done actually is I use straight up lead gen sales acquisition. Well, it's still acquisition of customers. And I let brand awareness and the likes and the comments and the shares come as a natural byproduct of the ads that I'm running for the actual insurance thing. So I'm a big fan with insurance of a couple different things. The first of which is the unscalable activities of doing like in-person networking, cold calls, establishing a relationship as a trusted person. Like nothing really beats that. That said, it's not scalable. So what I do, I wonder if I can find this one here. So many links I got to drop in here. Here's another one. This is the software I use for lead gen for insurance. I use it for a bunch of other niches as well. But like what I'll do here is I'll run a Facebook lead ad. I'll run it through that software. That allows me to do an immediate follow-up with an SMS. I've got a very specific set of questions that I ask. Then I can capture the lead. Then I can follow up with a phone call. And by me, I mean the client or whoever student I'm advising on it. And they'll go through it all. And then I can put them in a pipeline and walk them through a funnel. But I let all of the other marketing take place as a result of that. And the reason is because then I'm able to invest like $1,000 into, say, ads. I'm able to get out XYZ amount of leads, and I'm actually able to convert those into sales, recoup all my costs, grow my business, and at the same time get all of the side benefits of actually running these ads. So that's the secret. Airport chauffeur, hello, my friend. Precious, do clinical psychologists and the likes need marketing? So it's a deep life question. I'm from Nigeria. Good to see you. That's a good question. Again, I'm biased here, but it's my honest belief that everyone needs marketing. Now, how we define marketing or how I define marketing is as the communication of value. So everything is marketing, from how you dress to how you speak to what your website looks like. If you're a clinical psychologist, what your office looks like, that's marketing. Like, for example, if I went to a clinical psychologist and they had a very nice office and it was warm and comforting and inviting, great. If they were running it out of like some dirty van in the back of an alley, not so great. I mean, that's marketing, that's branding. One of them is the dirty back alley psychologist. Not a good name, but there you have them. The other one is a professional with doctor in front of their name instead of like Joe's psychology, mobile psychology treatments. So yeah, everything's marketing. You absolutely need it. You need to be aware of it. The point that I think the biggest takeaway here is that people are forming a story and an impression about you and your business, whether you like it or not. So you might as well control the narrative. Okay, Future Scope. What are the top skills someone should learn to outcompete the social media market in my country, Trinidad and Tobago? Right on. There isn't much making people making good video content. Everyone went marketing and ads. So what are the top skills someone should learn to outcompete the social media market? It sounds like, if I'm understanding this right, if everybody goes marketing and ads, first of all, is that because that's where the money is? In which case, you kind of like follow the money. But the second thing is like good content always wins. It might take a little longer, and good content is subjective. So what you and I feel is slightly different, but what the market wants is good content. So if they're rewarding it with clicks and leads and sales, that's good content. You've got to find a way to do that. And then as far as what skills you need for it, again, it depends on your area. Like, are you better at writing or video or motion graphics or again, Photoshop maybe, and documenting the process? Linnea, hello from Sweden. Hey, hello. Do you have any experience in the dating niche and the advertisement aspect of it? Love your content. Thank you very much. Yeah, I ran ads for a dating coach for years. So lots of opportunity. Here's the big one. There's a couple ones. The first of which is being very careful of the terms of service with the different apps that you're going to be using. Facebook, for example, they're very strict on like what you can and can't say in an ad. So you can't be like, "Are you lonely and single?" They'll just block your account and ban you completely. But you can show other areas of like, what about this? What about that? What about, have you thought about this? Here's top 10 date ideas, et cetera, et cetera. What I found worked best when we did it was we ran a lead magnet that gave, we had a bunch of different ones. One of our best one was like, top tips or how to make yourself more desirable to the opposite sex or whatever that was. We had a bunch of different variations, but then we just ran ads towards that lead magnet and moved them into a funnel. Frankie, Braziliki. Excellent. Excellent. HRV Gaming. Oh, they're going by too quick now. Okay, quick warning. 7-minute warning, and I got to bail. So we're gonna burn through these as fast as I can. HRV Gaming, what was my goal when I first started to advertise a business? What routine you follow to keep up the audience with your ads? My goal when I first started to advertise a business was my first real goal. If I remember back, it was more than 10 years ago now. So I think my first goal was probably like figure out what these ads even were, how they worked. My first real goal when I started doing it was leads that we tracked and attributed to sales. So we set up tracking pixels. We made sure we had the right attribution set, and it was all about sales, period, full stop. Same thing. As far as how to keep people up to date in that, it's like ad creative. We need new ads, new angles, new hooks, new videos, new images, more than you think you need. Again, 80-20, right? The top 20% are going to give you 80% of your results, but you got to find them. Reem, this helps a lot. You ever come to Egypt again? Tell us, we'll make you a big thank you party. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd like to get back one day. I want to show my kids the pyramids and the Nile and all the cool stuff. Amanda, hello from South Africa. Hello. Sarath, I want to be a copywriter and then a marketing strategist. And also, can I be a strategist without actually running campaigns, or do I have to be a digital marketer before becoming a strategist? So these are just titles and labels. There's no one person that's like handing these things out. That's like, congrats, you're now a copywriter. You're now a strategist. You're now a digital marketer. So it's kind of up to you to chart your own path. That said, to become a quote unquote strategist, it's my firm belief that you pretty much have to know all of the things. You don't have to be an expert in all of them, but you need to know what they are. Otherwise, it'd be like playing chess and you don't know what a couple of the pieces did. You're like, I don't know, just move that one out of the side. It's like you're going to lose the game. So you've got to know what they all are. So I think starting with copywriting is fantastic. I think moving into like digital marketing and seeing how the copywriting plays a part of the role, amazing. And then I think you can graduate, self promote yourself to role of strategist. David, okay, awesome. My pleasure. You're most welcome. Sarath, what's the way to be a copywriter and then a marketing strategist? Start with copywriting, master copywriting. There's a ton of good books, a lot of great places to get experience. If you go to Amazon, you type in copywriting, you look up some of the old famous copywriters, the like Eugene Schwartz and Claude Hopkins and all those guys. Amazing stuff there. Hey, Adam, how is it going? This is your Shivam here. Shivam, good to see you. I don't know if that has another meaning, but everything is going amazing. Thank you. Arad, how to make good contact. Do you mean content? Confirm for me. We'll move on. Omkar, can you make a video on what goes on behind the scenes in your mind when you want to create a Facebook ads campaign A to Z? Yeah, I'm working on one of those. I've got a couple out right now. One of the more recent ones is on Facebook lead ads, because I think that's where one of the greatest opportunities is. It's a screen share video that I made for people inside the academy. But you can take a look at that one because it's not super fancy and the audio is kind of but it'll walk you through the process. I want to connect with you on LinkedIn. Cool. I also rarely check LinkedIn, so feel free. I probably won't hit respond because there's a bunch that come through and I can't get to them all. Here's best, honestly. YouTube's the best place for me. Precious, I want to target clinical psychologists. Want to know if I should pursue it. I'm a new freelance copywriter. Yeah, I think you can. I don't know if they're the hungriest for leads. It depends on the country and how they get their clients, right? Like if they're clinical psychologists, are they getting them from referrals? Because if that's the case, then that's not a market I'd go after. On the other hand, are they private psychologists that specialize in some kind of certain niche, relationships or mental health or anxiety or whatever it is? Because then you could start to establish yourself there. I'd ask, like, why clinical psychologists? Is there not another area that might be more lucrative, where the value of a lead would be worth more? So I actually just made this video. I recorded it. It's not released yet, but I was kind of like walking through the differences of doing lead gen for like a low cost business and a high cost business. The work is kind of the same, but instead of selling something for $5, you sell something for like 15 grand. Kind of same amount of work, but like infinitely more profitable. Okay, couple more minutes. I'll see what I can grab here real quick. Sarath, learned a lot from your content. Soon I'll be taking your course. Great to see you. Okay, awesome. Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. How to make good contact, Arad. You've got to offer value. I think if you mean like how do you get a better network and things like that, you have to lead with value, and you have to be this is going to sound rough from like a personal standpoint, but it's like you have to be someone that's viewed as being worth making contact with. So it's like, what can you offer them? Have you proven that you're worth someone's time? The most successful people, they're very busy and they get a lot of contact requests all the time, like hundreds, thousands even. So what can you do to kind of rise above that? And how can you show up consistently? Alicia, hi from Barbados, startup company. How much should I spend on Facebook ads? Should I focus more on brand awareness versus sales? Okay, glad you asked this. Always sales, not brand awareness. No, not brand awareness, especially as a startup. We need sales. How much should you spend? You need to figure out what your metrics are and what your cost per acquisition is and what your lifetime value of a client or customer is. You've got to figure that out before we start throwing random numbers. If I had to just pick a number out of thin air, I'd be like, whatever you're kind of comfortable with, but very quickly, you need to make sure that they're in alignment with where you're going. What's the most important lesson you learned when becoming an independent marketer that you think would help someone else who's trying to go independent? Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, let's answer that, and then I think I'm gonna have to bail. What we can say here is that the most important lesson was probably the fact that you're gonna need to keep learning and keep applying and studying and things like that. And never really stop. Like that's the most important lesson is like, okay, there's going to be a constant need to recommit to figuring out like marketing and staying on top of trends. The second one there is to always put your clients or your customers or your students, whoever it is that you're serving, put their needs ahead of yours. That one's really hard, especially when you're first getting started and you're like, I really need to make the sale. But people know, and they can tell when you care more about them and their best interest than you do about yourself. So it's like I'll never work with someone that I don't really believe is the best fit. I'll never advise someone to do something that I don't think is in the best interest of their business. Like all of these things have allowed me to hit the level that I'm at now. It's like you act like you don't need the money in the early days, even when you do need the money, and then eventually you won't need the money because you're able to act sort of from that point. Hopefully that helps. Okay, I'm gonna burn through these real quick. Do. Is this live every Saturday? We will see. I gotta find out. Like I said, I gotta go pack the kids up to go kayaking. I made them pancakes and headed out real quick. Love the rap portions. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, they get stuck in my head. And my kids love them too. Basic things someone should know for getting into marketing. I think start here on the channel. Can copywriting earn good money in this time frame? I missed the time frame, but you can earn a lot of money. You have to be good at it, like most things. Want to invite people in my network through marketing. I can try to do that. And there's my timer. Stop timer. That's my alarm so I don't miss kayaking. What will be a useful result? 90% content reach the correct audience. What will keep my audience long-term? It's all about value. So let's end it there. That'll be our final thing. It's like when you're thinking about creating content, when you're thinking about growing a business, when you're thinking about making contact with someone in your network, it's all about value. It's all about them. Where people go wrong is I don't want to say selfishness, but like we naturally care about ourselves, and that's normal and healthy. But when someone senses that, hey, this isn't really about them, it's more about the person that's trying to get the thing, it's very easy to tell, and they're not necessarily inclined to want to help. So always try to put the person that you're serving ahead of yourself. Doesn't mean to make sure you don't get paid, make sure you pay your bills, like you got to earn money, all of that stuff. Like all of this is doable and possible and amazing. What's strange though is that it often comes as the byproduct of service to other people. So with that said, it's time to run. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for showing up and having a chat, and we'll see you in a bit.